Hello, I'm Linda Reid, Superintendent of South Euclid-Lyndhurst Schools, and welcome to another edition to AV-TV Productions. I'm joined here today by a very special guest, Mr. Reginald Holland, Principal of Greenview Upper Elementary School. Mr. Holland is here today to tell us a little bit about what's happening at Greenview, and we'd like to welcome Mr. Holland to AV-TV Productions. Welcome.
Thank you.
You know, I've done a little bit of research, and you have quite an extensive educational background, so let's start off today with telling the viewers a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, I'm originally from this area. I grew up in Cleveland Heights and a graduate of Cleveland Heights High School. I did my undergraduate work at Miami University and came back and did my graduate work at John Carroll University just up the street. This is my 17th year in education and my 11th year in the district. I've been assistant principal at the high school, assistant principal at Memorial, and working on my 5th year as principal here at Greenview.
So you've been 5 years as principal at Greenview Elementary. Can you tell the viewers a little bit about Greenview, what the grade levels are and the number of students that you service, and a little bit about the staff? Yes,
Greenview is an excellent building. We service 4th, 5th, and 6th graders for the entire district. We service 4th, 5th, and 6th graders for the entire district. We have about 850 students here at the building.
How many staff members do you have at Greenview?
We have just over 70 staff members. There are 10 classroom teachers in the 4th grade, 10 classroom teachers in the 5th grade, and 11 classroom teachers in the 6th grade.
Now, I know today's classroom is very diverse learners in today's classroom, so can you share with us some of the educational program and opportunities that the Greenview students experience?
Yes, I'm very proud of the opportunities for our students. One of the unique things about Greenview is our opportunities for our kids that are struggling. We have a number of title classrooms, a number of reading intervention and math intervention programs, but I'm also very proud of the opportunities for our kids that do very well. We run an honors program in our 5th and 6th grade, so that our students can have those opportunities to strive and reach those academic excellence. We also service the gifted program at Greenview for our 3rd through 8th graders, which means in addition to our 4th, 5th, and 6th graders have the opportunity to be in the gifted program, but we also bring over our 3rd and 3rd graders as well.
So you mentioned that some students that may be struggling, how do you work with families to make sure they're getting their needs met as well?
One of the things we like to do is really just enhance the communication going back and forth between students and the building and the parents. I think that building the relationship between the families and the teachers and making sure that we communicate what the important academic outcomes are needed is a focus.
Now, you know, when we talk about the whole child and educating the whole child, you know, we talked about some educational programs, but it's also important for students to be involved in things outside the classroom. So does Greenview have opportunities where there's extracurricular activities or some clubs and opportunities like that for children?
That question comes up a lot, and we've worked very hard to move in that direction. One of my philosophies regarding extracurricular activities is I tell students that if they have an idea and it's safe and they can get an advisor, we try it. So the number of clubs kind of vary from year to year based on student interest. We've always have things like Recycling Club and our newspaper. We're very proud of our TV broadcasting programs and things like that. But some of the more unique things that students are interested in, the students would come to me with a proposal. They say, I have an advisor to try it, and we give them that opportunity as long as they can find an advisor. We've had all kinds of things, everything from Beyblade clubs to a fashion club one year that the young ladies wanted to try.
You know, in fact, you talked about, I was actually at a 5th grade classroom last week. They had invited me, I think it was part of the Recycling Club, and they were talking and giving me ways and suggestions on how they were going to take responsibility to go green at Greenview. And I actually got a note the other day that kind of gave me a few suggestions on how our school district can go green. So they definitely are learning a lot in the classroom and then also taking and apply that to other things outside the classroom. So also a great opportunity. You know, you talk about the academics and at Greenview. I noticed this past year there has been an improvement with the state report card. And we know that the state report card is just one measurement of the great things that go on within a school district. So there has been an improvement from continuous improvement to effective. Can you shed some light on some of the initiatives that were started at Greenview that help move this rating upward?
I'd first like to say that it's a great commentary on how hard our students work. The students need to take a significant part of the responsibility for moving us from continuous improvement to effective. They really put the hard work in and the time with the support of the teachers and their parents to make sure that we got that done. One of the biggest initiatives that we work through is improving instructional strategies. We talk about how to get the most gain from students, how to get the most production out of students. Your comment about the whole student is very true, because the motivation and their buy-in is essential, but the content has to be delivered in the most positive and strong way. And so we've really focused on things like co-teaching, inclusion models, giving kids opportunities to really have targeted intervention and instruction. So those are some of the big things that we focused on. And again, I'd like to comment on how well our students have put the effort forward to help us move that rating up. Mm-hmm.
You know, in today's classroom, there's a lot of reform going on in education, and the rigor has really increased. You know, you've described some of the initiatives that have helped improve that. So how are the students responding to some of that changes in instruction?
I think they responded very well. I think one of the things that we try to focus on is a good balance between the increased rigor and the relationship between the student and the teacher. When the relationship is there, the rigor is what students actually desire and kind of strive for. And so there's a balance of making sure that kids know that you care about them, kids know that you want them to do well, kids believe that they can do well, and that the content is very rigorous and targeted.
You know, and you also talk about from the teaching standpoint. You notice that there are higher levels of thinking, and so how's the teaching staff with all the changes? What are some of the things that they've been doing to prepare for the changes that are being brought with the Ohio Department of Education?
We've talked a great deal about that, making sure that the teachers understand, and to that matter, students understand that it's not about just being able to recite things back. It's about being able to apply them and to actually comprehend what's going on. One of the big pushes that we do is we want to get kids to the point where they can not only understand it and go through it, but they can potentially teach it to their peers, and through that piece, we're being able to reteach or express their understanding of it. It actually gains them a better understanding of the content.
So would you say that we're also making sure that not that the teacher knows what the objective of the day, but the students in the classroom more or less can have some I can statements, that there are certain things that they take ownership to be able to achieve? Absolutely.
I think students need to know why they're learning things, what's the objective, how it's going to apply to their future and to future learning, and so I believe that absolutely.
You know, they say when you get it down to the student level and they're able to reflect on that, that's when real learning really takes place. So I'm glad to hear that. Parents, parents play such an important role in a young person's life, and especially supporting education. What are some of the things that Greenview does to bring parents in and making them a part of their child's educational process?
I think one of the biggest parts of a good educational program, and that partnership between parents and teachers and school buildings, is that communication is open. We strongly encourage our parents to communicate directly with the teachers, communicate with administration, talk about what their concerns are, bring in strategies to do all those kinds of things. What we want them to be able to do is to come in, question, and find out what kinds of strategies they can do to help support their student through the educational process. One of the things we recommend are things like some simple things, such as how do you set up a good workstation at home for your student? What's the value in reading every night? How do you question a student through the reading to make sure that they understand what they read? And so we try to share some of those strategies with parents and have them communicate that back and forth. Mm-hmm.
And I noticed on a number of occasions you've involved parents. Early this year you had, I think, a dad's walk,
yes,
which was highly participated. I had a great opportunity to go there. Can you tell us a little about the walk that took place, I think, this past fall?
Absolutely. Our Father's Walk program usually occurs in the early fall. It's an opportunity for us to celebrate and recognize the importance of fathers in their students' educational life. Not to discredit or say that the mother's role is not important, because it absolutely is. But sometimes I think our fathers need to know that they play a very significant role in educating our young people. And so every year we recognize that through a national program called the Father's Walk Initiative. And we invite our fathers to come up, and they do a program and participate in helping our students start their day and their school year.
Mm-hmm. I would say it was in the gym. I know they started it. It was jam-packed wall to wall, so it sounds like you're getting a lot of participation with that. You know, as we continue to talk about educating our young people today, I think it's important to take those timeouts to recognize some of the work that they do. Does Greenview do any special student recognition programs, or even for staff as well, to appreciate? Can you tell us a little bit about some of those programs?
One of the initiatives that I took part in as I became principal at Greenview was to make sure that students understood that academic success is okay, it's important, and that it's okay to celebrate kids through academic expressions. And so we do things like our trimester awards, we do things like our Gator Grahams. We provide kids opportunities to know that making great choices, making great strides, doing well academically is something that we're going to celebrate, and that it's okay to do those things. I think sometimes in our society we think being smart's not okay, and being smart is absolutely okay. And so those are some of the things that we like to do. And recognizing teachers as they support the kids through that process. We do things such as Teacher of the Week and things like that to make sure that they know that their role in the process is important as well.
So you mentioned a Gator Graham. So if I'm a student in your school, how do I get a Gator Graham?
Oh, Gator Grahams are great. We're actually going to end up transitioning it to an Arc Graham as we made our transition from former Greenview Gators to Greenview Arcs. But it's an opportunity for kids to celebrate things that they do every day. So it's not necessarily like a big award that you'd go after, but you may have helped a student in the hallway or helped a teacher in the classroom. And a teacher would give a quick recognition to that student, and they'd have the opportunity to win some prizes or some kind of treat or something like that. So it's a daily opportunity for kids to be recognized for the things they choose to do on a daily basis.
So what I hear you saying is really recognizing and catching kids doing things well and recognizing them for that as well.
Yes.
You know, you mentioned another thing with the trimester awards. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. Our trimester awards is another initiative that we started since I became principal there. I'm proud of it. Once a trimester, we bring our students together by grade level, and we give the students an opportunity to celebrate each other in their academic growth. And so we celebrate their math grade, their science grade, their social studies grade, but we also celebrate their ability to make certain strides. There may be an award for most improved. There may be an award for how well you're able to keep organized and prepared for class. And so our goal is to celebrate as many different areas as possible through the program.
And then did you mention that students have an opportunity to have input on who gets those awards, or?
It's mostly teacher directed.
Okay.
The teachers have an opportunity to do that, but the big push is that the students have an opportunity to celebrate each other.
Oh, that's
and so that they're celebrating and they're seeing each other and they're applauding each other, and we do it in a small enough group so that it's really impactful and the kids have an opportunity to see and talk about those celebrations.
Great, great. Well, you know, there's a lot going on at Greenview. I have an opportunity. I'm probably there on a weekly basis visiting, and it's really great to see. You know, been in a science class. I was actually in a social studies class that they were talking about how a bill gets passed, and really I saw a lot of active engagement, and I got to sit in one of the groups and get to vote on it as well. But so there's a lot of good things going on there. You know, as we begin to conclude our time here today, is there anything that you would like to share that maybe we haven't covered and be able to tell our viewers at home?
Well, I think one of the things that you just shared is what I'm most proud of. I think that Greenview is really moving in a positive direction. And I think a lot of that has to do with a new excitement, a new energy that Greenview and the district has. My teachers are very excited about seeing you in the building and having you visit. And coming to breakfast with us a couple times and doing those kinds of things. They're very excited about that. And there's a new energy, and I think that it's a very positive energy and one that's going to take us to even new heights. So we thank you for being the new superintendent and helping us move along.
Well, I have to tell you, it's been a very busy 6 months, and it's been a very exciting 6 months. I have gotten nothing but positive encouragement, and I appreciate those comments, and I think it's important when we make such important decisions about the young people's lives that I'm there firsthand in the classrooms. I get to know them, they get to know me, and that really gives me a sense of how we can continue to have this positive energy move in the future. I want to thank you for being here today. It was really exciting to hear about all the things going on at Greenview. I can't wait to continue this school year and see more exciting things happening. I know there's, you talked about energy, and there's a certain amount of energy that I feel when I come into Greenview with staff and students. So I congratulate you on the work that you've done, and really look forward to more work to come. So until next time, I'm Linda Reid, Superintendent of South Euclid-Lyndhurst Schools. Thank you for watching today. Hope you enjoyed the show.